Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We are here now. This is today's session, which will be highly practical. We've called it How Credit KPIs Create Board Level Impact. And we are absolutely running it for a very practical reason. We spend a lot of time in organizations where credit teams, finance teams, and CFOs are all looking at the same data, but they're using it in very different ways. Credit teams see operational measures, finance teams see performance, boards and investors are looking for confidence, predictability, and a lot of time early warnings. So this session is all about helping to possibly close that gap and showing how credit KPIs, when they're framed properly, become board level signals, not just reports, not just those back office reports. So as a way of introduction, I'm Luke Scolthorpe, Commercial Director for UK and Ireland at My DSO Manager. We work with large, often complex organizations to help them get a clear, consolidated view of cash, risk, disputes, and working capital across the group. I'm delighted to be joined by my colleagues, very talented they are. Noy MacDonald, our product director. Say hello, Noy. Give us a wave.
Hello.
Thank you. And thank you. And Jeremy Crooks, our, again, equally as talented credit project manager. Say hello, Jeremy.
Hello, Jeremy.
Okay. Hello, Jeremy. Hello. So between the three of us, there's been a lot of time working inside businesses of all different scale, all different sizes, running credit teams, orders cash teams, etc., and dealing with the same pressures that I guess the audience, I guess you guys are dealing with, the same board questions, the same unfortunate trade-offs that you're probably dealing with today. So we've seen it, we've been there, and what we tend to pick up from the organizations that we service, our clients, CFOs, boards, and investors, they're looking at business. They don't necessarily want to see more numbers. They want to see confidence. They want to see confidence in cash and forecasts, and they want to see confidence that reported revenue will actually turn up in the bank. So measures like DSO, overdues, disputes, all become the strongest early and earliest signals of risk in a business. If any of these start to drift, then cash problems usually appear long before they show up in any balance sheet P&L. So today we're going to start really at the top. Jeremy is going to walk through a consolidated executive level view of cash risk and exposure, the sort of view that a CFO, FD will actually want to see when they're trying to understand what's actually going on across the group. Then Noy's going to chip in and give some sort of further detail, further sort of information, deeper dive, should we say, into those signals behind the numbers. So it's going to be a joint effort today. One point to mention, bit of housekeeping. Please ask any questions that you wish. We've got a chat facility here within the recording, within the cast. Just go onto the chat button, which is at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Ask any questions. We will be, people are typing questions now, we will be answering those as the session goes on, as it evolves, but we will try and leave some time at the end to answer these questions more fully. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining. And over to Jeremy. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. So, what I'm displaying right now, let me zoom in for you guys. What I'm displaying right now is what we call the multi-entity at My DSO. So it's basically contain all of the legal entities of your group. In here, in that test platform, I have platforms from well all across the globe. I have two French companies, one in Spain, one in UK, and so on. So it allows a consolidated view of the entire group, which can be useful for the corporate environment. And if I were to log onto one of these platforms, so this is um, my DSO. And the first tab is the one that Luke was talking about, is the global view. The global view is basically a sum up of the different reports that you have here. So it's a short view containing a handful of information. In here, I can have the top receivable and overdue customers, my top five. I have the aging balance, the item statuses, the idea being to be very concise so that I can, in a glance, in a look, I can take note of the situation of what is going on. And if I need to go into the detail, all I have to do is click on, for example, the aging balance to be redirected to the relevant report. In here, I will be able to see things more in detail, filter the report, extract it, share it, and so on. Um, Before entering my DSO, I used to work as a financial analyst at Hasbro, the toy company. And one of my tasks was to produce daily reports that were to be shared with the corporate. So they didn't have time to look into the details. I had to be really, really short and precise. But it was quite the work, to be honest, to produce the reports, uh, make them look sexy and share them, and put the emphasis on the issues or the wins and so on. With my DSO, it's a bit different since the platforms are updated on a daily basis, twice a day, three times a day if you want to. So instead of wasting time, so sort of speaking, producing reports, what you can do is simply share the link, the URL, or create a profile for these corporate people so that just by clicking on a button, they will be able to access that overview of all the reporting and have real time data and go where they want to go. So it's something that I like in my DSO, that global view that allows anyone to see what they want and what they need in a couple of clicks. No,
Yeah,
what do you think?
just to add to that, I mean, over 20 odd years of credit management behind me, and for many big American company, what tends to be painful is to go pull an Excel file, get a report from a Power BI or back then Access or whatever, to have a global view just on one dashboard. Our main KPI to follow up on, obviously, do we get to the objective? How much of a risk are we taking? Obviously, as long as if we sell €1, we're taking a risk as a company. Now, how do I manage my risk as a credit manager? How do I make sure that my team has all the tool possible to be able to do their job in the best manner and in real time? And that's what's great, because you don't have that. You tend to go for, okay, let me pull something from SAP, from Oracle, from AS400, but it's an image at just one day, while my DSO is updated on a day-to-day basis. You can do forecasts. You can see how your aging balance has evolved, your DSO trend, how's your dispute as well. So that is what we all need first for our team, for our credit manager, for you financial director, and for obviously European director and big corporation, to be able to have that view, not only on an entity, but for all the countries where they have a risk and have a consolidated overview of their risk and following that through.
Yeah. Compiling Excel file is kind of a last decade practices. We don't have to do that
Mm,
anymore with interconnected system. It's all in there in real time and updated throughout the day. So no need to compile anything. You just go there and have the freshest information.
exactly. And that's very important, especially when you're talking about European financial director, even CFO. They just want to dive in, get to the information they need. They don't need to ask for an Excel file or whatever report you want to pull, and potentially your macro actually has gone down, which it all happened to us. They can just have access and dive into what they want to see, entity and corporate level. Definitely.
Yeah. Isn't that what we call the 5 minute rules? That they only have 5 minutes
Mm,
to, yeah, to get in the details and see what they need.
exactly, because they need to answer now. And when they ask a question, usually it's for yesterday, and we've all been through that as credit manager. It's
Yeah.
now, not tomorrow, not in 3 days' time. It's now. So my DSO allows them to have those answers and then go to whoever needs, if they have any question, put things together and ask, I don't know, customer services if there's massive dispute and say, okay, what do we do and how we get that sorted out. So that is what's fantastic. I mean, we all been frustrated as manager not being able to give the right tool to our team. For example, the item status, to personalize it to the organization. I mean, medical disposal has nothing to do with aerospace, nothing to do with logistic, but they all can use just one tool and adapt it to their needs and have the view they want, dive it. I mean, we do top down to bottom down and just adapt their scenario, their dispute, and be thinner in the analysis we do. Because the worst thing is we are setting ourselves target has a big corporation, has an entity, and as well to our team, but not being able to quantify it. That's the most frustrating thing. And I mean, we live in 2026, use technology. We have AI that we pull into My DSO to help us out. We didn't say, okay, we're going to lose job. We embraced it and say, what can we do to make our life, our customer life better? How can we use all the information that's in the tool to help our customer in a quicker manner? Use payment behavior to see how we can assign potentially a risky scenario. So we embrace technology as a whole and say, okay, as former credit manager, what can we do better? How can we serve our customer? And use as well the experience of our customer because they're still on the field, and they bring back experience. We share with them our experience, they share with us their experience, and we'll see what we can do to make the tool even better, user friendly, but most important point is useful to them and their company and any type of industry.
Okay. Um. Oh, sorry, Luke.
Just agreeing with Noy. I was absolutely on point with everything that Noy's saying. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. What I like as well with that kind of technology is that since everyone has access to the information, it's it gives responsibility to people. You know what is going on at any point, so you have to take action. We are said to be living in the knowledge century, that we have access to all of the information thanks to Wikipedia, AI, smartphones, and all. So it's the same with that kind of technology. Everything is in here for you to take note of. You simply have to log into and take a look. Everything is in there. So,
Y- mm.
uh,
And as I say before, I mean, every organization has changed. Times change. I mean, we've seen it with all the internet bubble, financial crisis back over 10, 15 odd years ago.
Mhm.
What we have noticed, and I'm pretty sure everyone on this call has credit manager, have seen their industry change. Coming from where I come from, I came to an industry back 10 odd years ago, which was absolutely no risky. And as time went by, those private company became risky. Even myself as a credit manager, that customer was paying so well, no issue. When they were not paying, there was a dispute. And then suddenly they went on bankruptcy. What's great with My DSO and all the connectors that we have, it's about credit insurance, it's about financial information. How do I anticipate that risk that's coming towards me? How do I make sure that I've foreseen that my industry where I'm working is actually changing, because the average ratio of bankruptcy, it's gone down or high up. I mean, just in France last year, s- we've had a really high sky level of bankruptcy. Never happened so much before. So which means that any industry is shifting to a higher risk. My DSO allowed you in real time with Dun and Bradstreet, Credit Safe, and others to have the financial information, how they rating. Same with insurance cover, because on insurance cover, if any of you have that, which happens to me in quite a few years back, if you manage to show to AIG, Allianz, COFAS that you have done everything in your power to pay, you will get normally 90% net of your debt back. My DSA allowed you to see archived everything you have done and everything in your power to ensure that you tried but didn't happen, bankruptcy, whatever. What you can do as well with those connectors is with our AI search and assign and say, okay, I want that search. My cover is going to go down or be actually cancelled on March 31st. I want that information. I want an alert. And I want to say, okay, I have that issue. I have that alert. What do I do with it? Because at the end of the day is you have the information, but you need to do something with it. What my days allow you to do is to be really thin and said, okay, I just want to know the customers that go down in terms of financial rating. You can actually mix it with bad payer profile. You can mix it with a insurance cover. And all of those, as credit manager, we don't have time. We all know that working in finance. We don't always have the resources. Well, my dear, so save you time through the search and assign, through the alerts to say, okay, I just want to focus on that because that's what matters to me. And even more so when you have a large amount of customer, we don't have the time. We have closing to do, we have report to do, we have to see how we're doing with customer, we have to intervene internally, externally. All of those functionality help you to just focus on what's important. Risk, get the cash in, you dispute management. And that's what matters, because talking to various customer doing implementation, and Jeremy will agree with me as well. And I know you look with your experience, what's come up the most at the minute is risk, risk, risk. We can't afford it as companies. Then it's about how do I manage and be clever about my collection scenario? What do I put for my team to make it comfortable and not just doing mass action, but doing added value? And secondly, how do I manage my dispute? because from talking to quite a few of our customers, and look, will agree with me, we tend not to have the visibility on dispute management. And how do we get other services on board? We all know we're not going to do actually the credit note, raise the credit note. We're having, segregation of duty. We're not supposed to. It will be customer services. It can be tender and pricing. It can be logistic. It can be quality. How can I bring them on into the tool? We can. It's collaborative. Basically, we allowed pretty much the whole OTC chain of services to be able to follow it through in the dispute report. We can see the trend as well. How do we do? What's important? Can we avoid certain dispute? Yes, potentially by training better customer services because they're new, knowing the basic. If you're working with public customer, for example, in France, you need their PO, otherwise they're not going to pay you. Can those be avoided? Yeah, because you will see your trend. Where do your money sit? And we all know it's slipping money and cash is king, and we all heard that. And then when you go to the trend, you can see how long it takes for your organization to actually resolve it. And if it's too high, what do you do about it? Some of our customers actually manage their dispute in Salesforce. Salesforce CRM. It's not dispute management. How do you quantify it? How much it's costing you, where your money is sitting, where you can go and get the cash. It gives you that visibility by doing that collaboration. Everybody can dive in. Customer services, they might set objective to their team, they can quantify it, and you can see, okay, how did we manage that? How we reduced that down? Oh, what happened? Do we have a trend? What happened? So all that dispute management is absolutely fantastic because that's really what our customers pull out. I mean, my previous company, some of them were sitting in Salesforce, and then they suddenly realized how much it was, and it stroked our European management saying, okay, something needs to be done. We have a customer that was implemented a year ago. They haven't realized how much it was, even though the AR team, the cash collection team, was saying, we have a real issue. There's too much sitting in dispute. Well, when they implemented My DSO, well, it started to strike everyone within the organization. They were like, wow, something needs to be done. We need to set every single manager of all the services that are implicated within dispute management. What do we do now? Because we can't afford having 10, 15, 20 million out and nothing is being addressed. And we have 150 days trying to resolve the dispute. Not happening. And then you can have as well the view not just for one entity, but you can have a view for the whole of your organization. We know how to manage all that complexity within the tool by the good setup and addressing what's important to bottom level to higher level.
Sorry, I had the same example as you know, that the collectors team were pulling the alarm that something was wrong with the dispute and the dispute management, but without concrete evidences or concrete evidence or figures. It was just like a feeling that they had. But with my DSO, we were able, well, to have concrete charts, graph, and all, so that corporate, okay, could hear and see that something was going on and take action. And what you said about bankruptcies and dispute management, it does echo in me. When I first started credit management 12 years ago, that was one of the first thing that my credit manager back then taught me, is that when you're asked for money, you're never the only one. When you ask for a payment, the office furniture supplier is asking as well. The phone company is asking as well for your customer. So you have to bite first. And for that, you need to be able to well detect if a bankruptcy is on its way, or you have to solve dispute as fast as you can. And that's well that sort of thing that a tool such as My DSO that isn't interconnected can allow you to do.
Yeah, definitely. And as we archived everything, no need anymore. And we all been through that for audit purposes. Okay, where did I put that email with the credit limit approval? With that approval, you can deal with it in My DSO. We have ways with credit limits. You have the DOA, delegation of authority. You decide, you adapt it to your organization. Our biggest customer used it and they're super happy about it. And we develop it for that. So you can manage even your credit limit within the tool because it's archived. And when you have the auditors, and we've all been through that, they want it like now, but you can't find the damn email in My DSO. You don't
No.
have to do that anymore because it's archived. And it's fantastic. I mean, we all been through with Outlook and our IT saying, okay, I'm going to review how much we're going to archive and potentially all the emails within after a year is going to be complicated for you to reach it. And we all know audit comes a year after. So that's all collaboration, SaaS, innovative. We use IT, never be scared of AI. We embrace it. I mean, we even give that option as well to you customer, to our end customer. They can use the interactive pages, have the interaction with the AR team, cash collection, drop um, comments. And who would have thought? Well, yes, we can. And My DSO proved it that you can interact as well with your own customer, and that technology can help, but in the right way. If we listen as well to our customer, what makes sense.
Time is running.
Yeah,
I see that we've covered all the points, the KPIs, the interconnectivity, um, visibility, real-time data, and all. Um, how about a closing synthesis?
yeah.
So
Uh,
I'd say that you could get lost in volume when you're not in the field of credit management or in the dispute field, and you have to look at the situation as a whole, at the entire company and everything that is composing the order to cash chain. You don't have time for volume. You need visibility. You need uh, shortness. Um, so yeah, that would be my advice, and this is how I do it. I'd share really concise information, really targeted charts, real-time charts, and hand it to the corporate via a link for real-time data and all.
yeah, definitely. Um, Fully agree. I mean, what we're showing you is just what us as credit manager need in the sense that global view, go down to top to bottom, have a higher sense of adding value and not just quantity because it can be frustrating. We always get more and more aggressive objective that is set by big corporate. That's normal. We choose to work in private industry, and but now how can we try and get things easier for us, easier for our team, have a better global view of every single area of our job, and make life better for everyone? And how can we give that visibility to our higher management? Connectivity, SaaS, AI, interactive pages with our end customer, and most and for all, share of experience, because that's how we feed ourselves. We all been credit managers, so we know. But how do we give that back to our customer and share? Because it is by sharing, collaboration, that we can fully understand how we need to evolve and make this tool better to obviously services of our customer.
Yes, yeah, totally agree. And the real time is what we need. Is what the board are going to be asking for. Real time insights. Yes, I'm looking at the chat. I'm just trying to see if there's any questions coming through on the chat. If Yalda can support on that as well. What else can we add, do you think, Noy, Jeremy? What can we maybe conclude with? There's a couple of points.
Well, as I mentioned,
I can,
go ahead.
no, sorry, I can see that
Go
there is
ahead,
a
Jeremy.
question in the chat. What is the point of a sales report in credit management? If you ask me, aside from the year-to-year comparison, what is useful for me is to know your sales revenue on a specific month and how much you've cashed in during that month. That could be a target for a collector. See, for example, if you have some left behinds, like here in September, or you can see the trend if some months are more difficult to cash in than others because I don't know of a seasonality of a or a seasonal treasury problem in the industry, things like that. So yeah, for me, the usefulness of a sales report in credit management would be that your sales revenue versus how much you've cashed in.
Mm.
I don't know your
Yeah, I
view
fully
on
agree.
that,
More
guys.
Yeah.
company, yeah, more and more companies ask for cash forecast, and yourselves obviously report will tell you, okay, you might be 30 days, 60 days, depending on the industry, depending on countries as well. I'd say, okay, how much I have, how much can I go and cash in? Where do I go? Which is the biggest customer where I can get the cash in? Because at the end of the day, they don't want to know why you didn't reach your target. It's what they're interested in is get the target done. That's all we're asking. But if you have the visibility of what's been invoiced, your sales, your cash forecast, well, then you can start setting a scenario action and say, okay, guys, we're going to go for that because that's how we're going to get our objective. So definitely have that proactive attitude is the best, especially as credit manager. As we said, they
Yeah.
set your target. Now, can a report help you? Sales report, cash forecast report, your dispute report as well, your aging
So
balance.
seems like no, you're answering one of the question in the chat. What are the most important trade KPIs you'd suggest?
Most, oh God, there's so many. I hated dispute, so I was always on my customer service backside on that. I wasn't annoying, but I was, it had to be done because there was sleeping
It
money.
had to, yeah,
Yeah,
it has to.
but one of the key one was the cash forecast I was doing for my previous company because it was very important to
Mhm.
actually get why didn't we reach, where can I get the money, and that was so important for them. And by looking at the cash forecast, my aging balance, where is my biggest money sitting? And then I can give a guidelines to my team and say, okay, you guys, that €100 invoice, yeah, it's important. We need to cash it. But if I have a customer that's 500,000, that's where we're going to get the money. So focus on them. So all those reports help pilot our performance as well and help set a line of action to our team and just concentrate on what's important. Get the cash in, reduce your risk, and reduce your dispute. Do you want to answer that one, Jeremy? To
Yeah,
what
there's another
extent we
question.
can personalize?
Sorry. Yeah, since I'm the one sharing, to what extent can we personalize the reporting on the platform? So most of the reports are written in stone, meaning that these are ours and the data of our customers feed these reports. However, they have the choice on the filters. They can add as many filters as they want so that they can filter the reports based on their very own criteria. There is an exception to that, which is the payment profile report. That one can be fully customized. It's up to you to decide what is a very good payer. For example, someone who pays before the due date, and on the other side, what is a very bad payer? I don't know, someone who pays after 2 months. So that one, yeah, can be fully customized. The other one will simply be fed by your data.
And you can personalize, you can have some personal, you know, your own fields, custom fields that needs to be brought within the platform. We can cost
Yeah,
center, business unit, that you can be even thinner, a group, and you want to focus on how that private group is doing, how that business is doing. That allows you as well to actually sit down potentially with your business director of XYZ and said, okay, we're having bad performance because I have XYZ customer. Can you help us out? And maybe another division which whom you have worked, it's doing much better. So we can customize and we can actually bring on some of your custom field as long as obviously you'd like to have them. It's really we personalize and it will be to your need. Any other question? Have we answered everything?
I believe so. Yes, I'm just scrolling through again. Yeah, I think that's everything. Everything there, guys. Thank you very much, Jeremy Noy, for navigating through. But to everybody that kept on, thank you very, very much. Pleasure to give you these insights. And any questions that you have after this, you're digesting. You might have a bit of a brain like mine, where you might think retrospectively, "Oh, I could have asked that question." Please get in contact with us. We'd be delighted to hear back from you. But yes, pleasure. Again, thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you very much, Noy. Thank you, Yelda, for sorting out the technical issues. And until next time, tune in. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.